e-commerce website like Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
we can store the customers' details, something
Mm-hmm.
like name, their addresses, their phone number, contact details, and all,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as the business contacts whoever is advertising on the Amazon e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
They will be storing all the products.
Okay. I
They
can
can.
give like you can take any one of the product. Okay. For example, you can take it as a shirt. Okay. For the shirt, you have a piece of information like size, color, right?
Yes.
Of female or male. This and brand, and we have and material. We have these things we can call it as a data. So
Yes.
that one place you have stored in all these data that we called as database. Is that clear?
Database.
Like this,
Yes.
you can like just be a practical. Like you every day you are using the applications, one of the applications, right? So you can assume that which can I say for data and what are I can say the databases. Data means what is called basically data. Data is a piece of information, and to store one of the centralized place that is called as database. So clear, right, everyone? You can take any product, you can do this, and then you can go to the. Can anyone tell the bank applications? Pavan, will you try?
Bank application means it's
Hmm.
then first loan we can see
Yeah, we can
in
take
that
it as a customer
it is
ID.
customer
Okay.
ID,
Mm.
and in that we can take it as loan, personal loan,
The
and also
customer name. See,
customer.
when you want to register the any customer into the bank, you have a custom required customer ID. That will be the unique, right? The
Yes, ma'am.
customer name, customer address, and
Account number.
account number, and he have like any email ID and his nominees details, and he should take any taken for debit on credit card details, and he can able to take for loans like home loan or personal loans, how many loans he has taken. This all the if you enter the customer ID, will we get all these details? I
Yes, ma'am.
can say that all these details called as data. The customer ID is, it will be on the database. Clear, others? So, like this way, you have to give e-commerce. You can give e-commerce. Like e-commerce means, are you guys aware of this? E-commerce, banking, and HRMS domains. These are the called as a domain names. Okay. So e-commerce means shopping applications, business purposes, and HRMS is like HR related, like employees related details. And banking means you have to banking sector the sector features. That is, we have a domains in IT industries. You can take it any example. You can give practically. Same way we have multiple examples. Okay, understood everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anyone can tell any other new example if you know that. Anybody?
Healthcare department,
Yeah,
healthcare
that is also one of the healthcare. So hospital management related. So if you taken as a patient details, you will be having that patient ID, patient what's the health conditions and receipt there, and bill payment and the patient name, right? So these are the names. These are the information called as a data. The patient details will be the databases. Same way you have nurse details, you have doctor details, and you have prescription details. We have many things, the data should be there. Nice, Soumya. So understood everyone what is meant by data and what is meant by database? Anybody have doubt on this? I hope it's clear. Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine, thank you. Akshita, can you tell me what is mean by SQL, why it is so important?
Yes, SQL means whenever the test engineers want to perform various activities to interact with the database.
Mm-hmm.
So by using the SQL queries, we need a SQL.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Then interactions like create or
Mm-hmm.
update, modifying, removing,
Mm-hmm.
retrieving. These are the interactions the test engineers will do with the database.
Who will do SQL?
Test engineers.
Okay. Anybody else can do the perform on data engineer?
Sorry?
Anybody can else use SQL?
No.
Developers will use, right? Administrator, developers. Only QA tester will do SQL or
No, others also use SQL.
yes. So SQL testers will do this database validation, right? So the administrator, they'll maintain the any crashes or any disaster. To avoid that, we will use as a database administrator. Database developer, they'll use to develop the creating or inserting the data into the databases in an organized way, in a structured way. Clear?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So everyone clear right now? We can move for the next topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Okay. I'll go for the next one. DBMS. Anybody heard about DBMS? What is meant by DBMS?
Yes, ma'am.
Database
Database management system.
Management system.
Yes, correct. Database management system. What does mean this? Anyone can answer this? What is meant by DBMS? So, as I told previously, these are the some applications, front end application, right? If I want to creating or storing my data into the database, I have to insert my data into this databases. Whenever I want like address, okay, I want address or I want some information. So after login, like click on the login and I have to click on the address details. It should go and fetch in the database in my server, then I'll be retrieving the data to it. If it is the address is present, it's stored in my databases, then it will be displayed in the front end application. Are you guys agree with this? Yes or no?
Hmm.
Is this process is correct? So initial we have discussed, right, the front end actions from this application, Gmail applications and all we have done, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
If I'll be open the Gmail application or Amazon application, okay, Amazon.com, okay, and if I'll be clicking on this login or sign in, what it will do, it will go to this sign in page. If already created, you can enter your credential and click on continue. How we'll get to know if the mobile number is already registered, it is stored in my server, then it will go to the, if it is available, then it will go to the next page. Otherwise it will throw an error, does not exist the account. So what you have to do it, you can create your account, right? So once you create it, the data will be stored. Next time, whenever you have, every time you cannot able to create the accounts. It's one time only you have to create any account. You can take any applications. Okay. So if next time you have to log in with that proper correct username and password. So once you enter the username and click on the continue button, it will open the password screen and you have to enter and you go to the page. How do you know this? Since my data will be created or stored in my database, because of that I can able to retrieve easily my data to the front end. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this will be the database. So next I said for DBMS. So what is mean by DBMS? It's a software. Okay, the DBMS is a software where we can interact or store some data or manage the data in the database is called as a DBMS. So there is no format for this DBMS. It's always will be on the file format storage. So what I can say here, this will be the user interaction. Okay, for example, I'm saying user interaction, and here it will be the database. So how should I know I want my data, I want username, I'm requesting to the databases. So how will I get to know whether my username will be present in there or not? Some programming language is required, right? Yes or no? Some software is required. Hello.
Yes.
So is it for communication between the front end and database server, some programming or some of the tools or some of the background language we have to require. So here they are using for DBMS. Okay. So the data, so what I can say this, database management system software I'll be using. It's a set of program which is allows to the database to user should interact to the database is called as a DBMS. What it will do, I can do the inserting the data, I can do retrieving the data and modification the data or deletion the data, this fetching the data, this all the interaction I can do through the database using this DBMS. And DBMS, it will support only the single user. Only one time is possible. Multiple time it is not possible. And always the small scale of organization will use for the DBMS software. For example, I can tell you this contact number. So the contact number, it will be stored in a table format in phone. How it is stored? It's stored in some structure format, right? The file format. Are you guys agree with this?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And photos in the gallery. So gallery will be having the folder format.
Yes, ma'am.
So WhatsApp documents, you have camera, you have Facebook, or you can have a videos separate, WhatsApp animated. So like this, we'll be having the folder from format and downloads. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So always the DBMS will be on the folder format will be stored. Okay, clear? This is called as a DBMS. So what is mean by RDBMS? The next topics.
Relational database, ma'am.
Relational database management system. So then what is, so my data into the file format itself. If I have used data, can I store it in the file format itself? Yes or no? Can I store my data into the file format? I have millions of data, billions of data, thousands of data. So what I can do it? Will I get easily? Can I retrieve the data after storing my data? It might get crash, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So to easily access my database or my data into from the databases, so we are going to the advanced level that is called as relational database management system software. So that is also one of the software currently everywhere they're using the relational database management system software. So here you can store the data for in the table format. So relational, I'll tell you that how it will be the relational. What does mean relational? How the table will be relational to one table to the other table. Clear? So usually I can store. You can take for example, page hospital. So on hospital details, we'll have a patient details first. Yes or no? Let me take. So I have one hospital. So we'll have a first doctor's details. Yes or no?
Yes.
And each doctor will be having the patient's details. Doctor 1, Doctor 2, and Doctor 3, and Doctor 1, for example. So the doctor details will be having unique, right? So the Doctor 1 will have some patient's details. Yes or no? Patient details, right? So here also number of patients will be there. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So the doctor details will be having tables, and I want some patient number 1 details. So what I'll get the patient number 1, 001, the patient details complete, and who is the doctor is taking of that, which is the disease is happening for that particular patient person. So all the details will get it in at a time if I'll be entering the patient ID easily. Yes or no? This is how the relation database will be arranged. So why it is always relational database? So it will be the stored in the table format. I can access very easily without any error, and the large scale of organization will be used in RDBMS. Okay, the relational database management system only will used, and entire SQL session we are using relational database management system. So it is an advanced DBMS, so that it's a relation between the multiple tables. It's a software, and it is relations between the multiple tables, and we can fetch the data from the database server very easily since the data is stored in the table format. Clear? You can store the millions of data into the using this relational database management system software. I hope it's clear, everyone, what is meant by relationship, RDBMS.
Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, in the at a time you can able to use only the single user for database management system, but in the relational databases you can use the multiple user, multiple data you can able to store it in the table format. So these this is the major difference. Also sometimes in the interview, very very important, they'll ask for what is the difference between DBMS and RDBMS, how the data will be stored in both the side, and what kind of organization they can use. So RDBMS will use for small scale and large scale organization, but DBMS will use only the less number, like small scale of organization. With small scale means the cost will be less, and the people will be less, and like this the companies they'll use for this DBMS. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just show you the diagram for you guys for understanding. Let me again show you this. So, you can able to see, right, screen? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So this will be the DBMS. Okay. The database management system is a set of program. It will allows the database user to interact to the database with respect to the data. So whenever I want to click my gallery for this particular camera, I should get the only the camera details. If I want to click on the download file, is in the folder PDF, only at a time I can able to open only the particular file. you can, and only at a time you can only use the single user itself, because you can take any phone. Will I use We can use the multiple user in the single phone? No, right? At a time only the single person only can use it. The same way it will be followed to the database management system software. Okay, so the same way, the relational database, it's a one of the type of DBMS software, and advanced type of DBMS software also, and it will always stored in the table format, and they'll be having the relationship between one table to the another table. So that is called relational database management system software. Clear, everyone? So most of the SQL testers or SQL developer, they will use 90% of the people will use for this RDBMS software, relational database management system software. I'll show you how the data we can integrate with one table to the another table, and how do we retrieve the data and all later sessions. Clear? Understood? So the next, uh, there is a software in the RDBMS and DBMS softwares in the market. Will used Oracle database and MySQL, MongoDB, and SQL Server, and MariaDB, PostgreSQL, IBM DB database too, and Microsoft Access. These are, we have multiple softwares available in the market. So this is the majorly they'll use the software. So since the MySQL is an open source tool, so we'll be using in the sessions. Okay. Since others, all these tools will be required for a license tool. So we cannot use it as of now. So when you go to the organizations, you can able to use the other tools as well. So currently the MySQL tool, anybody can install their your laptop, and you can use, and you can do the testing actions. Clear? I'll tell you how do we install MySQL, how we can able to interact, how do we use this tool, and how to retrieve, and how can we store my data. All the actions I'll show you in this today's sessions. Is that clear, everyone? These are the software will be available in the market. So we can search it in the Google also. RDBMS software list. So here you can able to see, right? Let me again show you. Top 2026. So here we'll have see SQLite, Oracle databases. Are you guys able to see my screen? Almost 10 RDBMS softwares are available. SQLite, SQL Planner, and PostgreSQL, Oracle databases, MongoDB, and Microsoft SQL Server, MariaDB, IBM DB2, Google Cloud, Amazon RDS. So these are the RDBMS softwares are available based on the company's standards. They'll use it. So I have used on MongoDB. It's almost similar to the MySQL. Only the way of execution structure will be the different. So you will get the KK on from them. So the format will be the same. The whatever you can write the query, the format, everything will be the same. Only the UI part will be the different for one tool to the other tool. Don't worry about that. That you will get into the once you go to the company, you will understand this, how the tool UI will be there in this. Okay, clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So right now, for the practice purposes, you can use for MySQL tool for better understanding. So let's Anybody want to guys need required for to repeat this topics? DBMS and RDBMS? Are you guys clear about this?
Yes, ma'am, we can continue.
Okay. So just take the notes on these two. Okay. And then I'll start with the installations process on your laptops. Okay. The MySQL tool. Fine. So the last sessions you guys taken as a database, right? Just copy this diagram after that. Then take the heading DBMS. I'm just taking one of the application. You can take any applications and you can write it. No worries. So once it is done, just take a heading DBMS.
Ma'am, is that a Amazon application on the top of the diagram?
Yes, Amazon application. Just front end, I just took one of the keyword feature called as address. Okay, this is address feature. So in address feature, we can also add the multiple addresses, right? If you want the home address or workstation address, you can add the home to address, whatever you want to deliver, right? So you can add it, and you can switch to your address also. Based on that, it will change your value ordering your product. You guys done it, right? All these things, shopping applications. I hope everyone will do this. Anybody is not doing this? Multiple address will be adding your applications. It's not done. If not done, just try it once. Okay, next time you are doing. Can give your mother any friend's address, home address. You can try to deliver it. Whether it is fetching the you can try to whether you can add the other address or not. Try to do it. Okay. Family, friends, or friends, anybody. Is it done? Copied? Let me know as soon as copied this. Completed? Okay. Take the heading DBMS, Database Management System. Under that, copy Database Management System. DBMS is a software. DBMS is a software which is used to store DBMS is a software which is used to store some data and and manage the data is called as DBMS. Is called as DBMS. DBMS is a software which is used to store some data, and manage the data, is called as DBMS, Database Management System Software. DBMS. Next line. Full stop and next line. DBMS is a set of program which allows database user to interact with database. DBMS is a set of program which allows database user to interact with database and also to represent the data and also to represent the data. Full stop. Next line. Generally, DBMS is a combination of database and management services. Generally, DBMS is a combination of database and management services. Database and management services. Done?
Yeah, ma'am.
Next slide. Management services are management services are first point, inserting new data into the database, inserting new data into the database, updating or second one, updating or modifying the old data into new data, update or modifying old data into the new data, second. What are the management services are? Inserting new data into the database, updating or modifying old data into the new data in the database, old data into the new data in the database. The next point, deleting unwanted data from the database, deleting unwanted data from the database. And the last one, fetching or retrieving or accessing the data from the database. Copy this. Let me know once it is done. Done?
Yes, ma'am, finished.
Okay. So the next point, it's a separate points. Okay. Don't include this management services. It's a separate point under DBMS. DBMS will support for single user. DBMS is support for single users. DBMS will support for single users. Single user. And the next point, DBMS will be preferred for small scale organization. DBMS will support for single user. And the second point, DBMS will be preferred for small scale organization. And the next point, DBMS will not support for normalization. DBMS will not support for normalization. So there is a normalization topics as a huge concept. Okay, just you have to understand what is meant by normalization. Means it is a database design techniques. Okay, the normalization means it's a database design techniques. And why we are using, you have a single table and you can create a multiple tables. Okay, using the main table into the several multiple smaller tables. Okay, so I'll tell you that later when to use several tables in a single table. Okay, you have only the single table, and using the single table we'll do the several smaller multiple tables. So as of now, you should understand what is meant by normalization. It is a database design techniques. Understood? Database design techniques. Okay. This will not support for in DBMS. The next point. Database design techniques. So the last point, DBMS, data will be stored in the file format. DBMS, data will be stored in the file format. DBMS, data will be stored in the file format with different extension. Anyone can tell this what is meant by extension? Anyone heard about this name? Extension?
Continue.
Like dot photos are in photos extension will be dot jpg.
PNG, JPG, and PDF, .txt. Remember this? Excel,
Yes, ma'am.
X. This means it's the extension. So if you're giving is a dot extension, the whatever the file will be stored in the particular format. If it is the PNG, it will store it in PNG format. It will JPG, it will be stored in JPG. If the file is in video MP4, .mp4, it will be stored in the video format. If it is a PDF, it will be stored in the PDF, or docs, it's a Word document. .txt, it will be stored in the text format. Clear? Are you guys understand what is meant by extension?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Continue with this. DBMS data will be stored in the DBMS data will be stored in the file format with different extension. And hence it is not possible to establish a relationship between the file. Hence it is not possible establish a relationship between the file. Done? So you have a multiple PDF, right? Can I relationship between one PDF to the other PDF? So it will be always separate, right? If you storing in the data will be stored in text format, it all will be stored in the separate file itself. Whenever you want to fetch some presentation one, the file, or demo two file, I can get only the single file only, right? The data.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You understood now how the data will be stored in the DBMS software?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's all since it is stored in some different extent format, we cannot do the relationship between the files. So sometimes it will be stored in PNG, sometimes it will be stored in MP4, and some PDF, text, or document. So we have a different extension. So I cannot relate to the one image to the other .txt file, or video to other txt file. I cannot able to do the relationship between. So that is the reason the small scale of industries they'll use for this DBMS whenever it is required. So when you have a gallery, that time you can use it and you can able to use the files only the to store the files. That time you can use this DBMS software. But almost 90% of the companies they'll use the relationship database management system software only. So sometimes very rare cases they'll use the DBMS software. Clear? For your understanding, just do this rough sketch of in your notes. User interaction, DBMS, and database. This is request and response. Or create or store the data or retrieve the data. Just copy this fast diagram for rough sketch. Done? Others copied?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, take heading RDBMS. RDBMS. Full form Relational Database Management System. RDBMS. Relational Database Management System. So under that first point, RDBMS is updated or advanced version of DBMS. RDBMS is updated or advanced version of DBMS. Advanced version of DBMS. Next second point. RDBMS is a software. RDBMS is a software used to store the data. RDBMS is a software used to store the data and manage the data. RDBMS is a software RDBMS is a software used to store the data and manage the data. Next, third point. Third point. If any DBMS software, if any DBMS software if any DBMS software has to update has to update has to update has to update to relationship has to update to relationship management software or relational database management software. If any DBMS software has to update to RDBMS, like relational database management, then it should follow. Yeah.
Can you repeat third point again?
Yeah. If any DBMS software DBMS software has to update RDBMS software. RDBMS software means relational database management system software. RDBMS software, then it should follow EF code principle EF code principle or rules. If any DBMS software has to update to RDBMS software, then it should follow EF code principle or rules.
Repeat it from if any DBS software.
If any DBMS software has to update RDBMS software, then it should follow EF code principle or rules. Who is EF code? Anyone? Anyone can tell who is EF code?
Co-founder of SQL.
Co-founder of SQL.
Yes, exactly the correct. So he's the EF code is the co-founder of SQL, and also the EF code, this person is introduced to in a RDBMS software as well. Okay. So let me check for what are the rules he has provided to us. Okay, in SQL. Let's take the heading EF code principle or rules. Principle or rules. There are the two rules he has introduced. The first one. So, let me, before taking this point, since the data will be stored in the table format, what is the structure? What is meant by table?
Rows and columns.
Yes, exactly. So in the rows and column, we have in a single cells, right? It's a called as the one row and one column. They have one shell. That shell is called as, we can call as a single shell. We can add only the single value into the particular shell.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? This is the first rule of EF code. Okay. So the each and every cell in the table should consist of single value. Copy it. The first point. Each and every shell means is a combination of rows and column. Okay. Each and every shell in the table, each and every shell in the table should consist of single value. Should consist of single value. Done? Shall I repeat once again?
Yes, ma'am.
Each and every shell, CELL, shell, okay? Cell in the table should consist of single value. Should consist of single value. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The second point, copy second point. If any DBMS software, sorry, just a minute. Oh. If we have, just change it, okay? If we have use volume of the data, if we have use volume of the data, if we have use volume of the data, then don't store into single table. If we have use volume of the data, then don't store into single table. Instead of that data store into multiple table and establish relationship. So if you have use volume of the data, like millions of data or billions of data, you should not use only the single table. Okay. Instead of single table, you can segregate with the multiple tables and create a relationship between one table to the other table. So I'll tell you how do we create the relationship between to the multiple tables. Don't worry about that now. Okay. These are the two principles or rules from the EF code as represented to us. Clear? Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yeah, you can take it as E and B for this points. So already this is copied as a 3 points, right? Next point, copy it. The fourth point. Fourth point. RDBMS will support normalization. RDBMS will support normalization. And the fifth point, RDBMS full support for multiple users. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the next point, RDBMS is preferred for large scale organization. RDBMS is preferred for large scale organization. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Next point, RDBMS data will be stored in the table format. Next point, RDBMS data will be stored in the table format. Hence, we can establish a relationship between the tables. Relationship between the tables. So in the open the bracket, relationship between means primary key and foreign key. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll stop here today and we can continue with the tomorrow. I'll give you the notes of this and the tools and as well as a difference between DBMS and RDBMS, and I'll give some basic commands. Tomorrow session we can install the MySQL software in our laptops. Okay guys, just go through all these points today sessions, whatever we have done it, what is meant by DBMS and RDBMS and all. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give you some more points in the RDBMS tomorrow sessions, and I'll give you the main difference between DBMS and RDBMS in the notes. So once it is given the notes, we'll complete the installation process on tomorrow sessions and we'll execute some basic commands. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just 1 minute. You guys can take the picture of this and just copy the in the notes RDBMS, just for rough sketch. Okay, for how the table will be structure will be happen, a relationship between one table to the other table. And tomorrow sessions we can discuss about what is meant by primary key and foreign key also. Fine. Is it taken? Just
Yes,
take a
ma'am.
photo and copy the notes later. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll stop here this today's session here. Okay. So we'll continue on tomorrow. Any doubt on this today's sessions? Anyone?